Hey guys, excuse me. Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here. Back again with another video. Part 2 of this video. I've been for a walk, made myself another cup of tea, and as I say, I'm ready for part 2 of this video. And hopefully, I hope you checked out part 1 if you haven't already done so. I thought I'd do another list video about my football ideas, and I think if I do any more videos tonight, if I do any more, I'll try not. I'll do something different to this video, so I'll do something generally different if I can. Anyway, on that point, getting to the list, number 11. I hope to look at how Italian football can learn to adapt and change to bring in new sponsors or fans, market better, and learn from leagues like the Premier League, La Liga, and other leagues around the world. To learn what they like, how the Premier League brands itself around the world and gets fans and that sort of thing, and also so what it can change to be more marketable. And get more sponsorship money, investment, and all sorts of things like new owners to come in and buy Italian football clubs, and again to make it competitive with like the Premier League or other leagues around the world, especially the Premier League, and hopefully the Italian League will become number one. And also I hope for similar things for Celtic with sponsors and supporters, and that sort of thing. I'm still wearing my Juve top, so anyway, I'm probably going to go for a shower after this video, and then make part 3. So look at new ideas and the open exchange of ideas and what Italian football can change, how it can become more expansive, attacking, or creative, or as I say, share ideas with each other and look at ways it can improve and that sort of thing. Number 12, on that note, I hope to look at how Italian football, Serie A, and maybe even some of the lower league teams and the grassroots level and youth teams especially, can have training academies around the world and train with people from all over the world, like improve relations with as many Asian nations as possible, and many nations around the world, like especially France and Ireland and other Mediterranean nations, and also Celtic, like training with those nations, especially at youth level, which hopefully will help them in the future, and forge relations with those nations and teams from those nations as well. And so hopefully it will help like Eurasian nations, transcontinental generally, the Mid East and the Mediterranean. So they buy each other's kits and things like that, which hopefully will help each other financially and in terms of marketing around the world, and obviously sponsors. Hopefully we'll see that. I hope the Celtic brand value will increase exponentially as well. Serie A, and people will subscribe to the Serie A channel on YouTube as well, and things like that. And sorry, I've got sniffles again, but that sort of thing. So and especially Italy and Celtic, like practicing together and like sharing ideas and what Italian football can learn from Celtic and what Celtic can learn from Italy, and like again practicing together, especially at youth level. All possible Italian teams practice with Celtic, Serie A teams, but also like lower level teams, which will help those teams as well from lower levels in Italy, and also like the national team, again especially at youth level, and as I said before, like fundraising games to raise funds to tackle things like diseases such as coronavirus and things like that. And to go on to YouTube to fundraise. I've always got a runny nose or coughs or stuff like that, so I don't think I'm ill. Just I hope not. Anyway, I don't feel that ill, but I do feel tired a bit sometimes. But I think that's just because I stress too much. But I always have these sniffles and all that because I'm holding and probably allergies and things like that. So anyway, number 13. Got to admit, it's a bit of a dilemma to support Italy as an anti-imperialist, because Italy can have quite a lot of imperialism and negative things like racism, prejudice, generally, and it can be known to be like to have a lot of cheating and corruption. So I hope maybe like change some of those negative things could be changed. But I think like if Italian teams won, as long as they don't exchange money or like bribe, or is it the match? As long as it's not match fixing with either the officials or either the officials or the opposition or anything like that, as long as they win by the rules of the game, even if it's like through diving or cheating in a way, if the referee didn't see it. But the main thing is, I think we win as long the main thing is Italian teams and Celtic win within the rules of the game, in my opinion, as long as it's not like people paying to win. Because I suppose if you do pay, if it's like teams that pay to win or corruption, then it's not really a real thing. It's not really a real victory. Any team can do that, obviously, if they gave enough money or whatever. So hopefully, as long as we win within the rules of the game. Number 14, again, hope that we'll do stuff like football for good, hope share ideas like that, and again, tackling things like the coronavirus and other illnesses, diseases, and problems facing the world. And so, like, obviously, from Italy's point of view as well, if they can fundraise for cures of the coronavirus or diseases like that, or to help doctors and medics, then obviously the league can be protected and the players can be protected, hopefully, all being well, so they can play more and the league won't have to stop. Hopefully, all being well. As I say, that's the hope anyway. Number 15. Hope for Italian football and Celtic to always improve and to win as many trophies as they can, to become as successful as they can be and help each other practice. Like, so again, like I know I talked a bit about before, I always say this, I apologise, but like Italian football can help Celtic to become as successful as possible and win as many trophies as possible and become the most successful team in Scottish history, overtaking Rangers, and Celtic could help Italy to become the most successful footballing nation, help overtaking Brazil, and also like a club team level, overtaking the Premier League or a league or any other leagues in terms of success, both on and off the pitch, like in terms of commercialization and all that sort of stuff. So helping each other as much as possible. And again, hope for that's like sort of my goals I hope to promote. So if they help each other, then hopefully that it will be a mutually beneficial thing. But yeah, so I hope for Italian teams, Serie A, to become the most successful in terms of international trophies won in Europe and the World Club Cup, things like that. Number 16, again, hope to look at new and creative and innovative ideas and like the open exchange of ideas and look at what could make Italian football the best it can be, and that sort of thing. And number 17, I have this strange imagination as I have to talk about like China and India. Unfortunately, they don't always get along. In fact, they're like sort of at a spat at the moment, like between each other, disputes over land and things like that. But I hope to help China and India to become more closer and like make a Chindian partnership. And through that, I'd love China and India, the Chinese and Indian government, to come together and like possibly even buy Serie A, the league, and also Celtic, or buy as many clubs as possible in Serie A and invest in it in like youth infrastructure. So hopefully that will benefit Italian football. But hopefully somewhere along the line they'll make money from it as well. Obviously, it's got to be beneficial for them, but hopefully it will cement their relationship as they work together as well. So that can be symbolic to bring them together, and also maybe even Asians generally, like Asian entrepreneurs all across Asia and from the diaspora as well, buying Italian football teams and investing in Celtic, having shares in Celtic, and buying the kits and things like that. And I hope that will help to improve also Pan-Asian relations generally. I'd love to have more increased Pan-Asian relations, like all over Asia, as many Asian nations as possible, to be as united as possible, and people of Asia and so forth, to work together and solve problems and help each other. And hopefully Italy, like Asian, it could improving relations between Italy and the rest of the world for football, but also like Italian clubs. This I'm talking about more about the club team, the league rather than the national team. But the league teams or the club teams or whatever we call them, they could help Asian nations to be more united and help them financially. And in return, those Asian nations could help Italian teams to win more trophies and be more successful by funding them. And I suppose similar could be done for Celtic as well, to be as successful as they can. And Celtic to help those Asian nations, and I hope they can like have tax agreements and things like that as well. 18, I hope to look at the positives of Celtic and Serie A and the good work they might do around the world. That I know Celtic does, and maybe many Italian teams do. and hopefully Serie A does, or actually will do, good work around the world. And as I say, football for good. And 19. Sorry if I'm repeating a lot of these ideas, but again, I hope for Italy, Italian teams or Serie A to have fundraising games, and also Celtic to help. And those fundraising games will help to fundraise for African technology, software developers, especially female software developers. And number 20, older players to teach and coach what they've learned to younger players. So like people across Italy to teach each other, and train each other, mentor each other, and to encourage coaching and youth development, things like that. And the football hooligans, instead of being football hooligans, could perhaps spend that time constructively in like training up the youth so that their team can win more. And hopefully, like I'd love to get rid of football hooliganism from Italy. That's another one of my mad imaginations, and also from Celtic. Less like they're defending each other, but like to always obey the law and things like that. And hopefully they'll get tax exemptions. And again, the older players can teach younger players what they know, and they can teach each other and train together and that sort of thing. So as ever, I love to know what you think, and peace and love.